So I have news from an alternate reality. And it's very possible that it could become our reality very, very soon. Just like what you see up here on this banner right now. Pulling this up on the screen, it's always been mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? But in this alternate reality, it is now magic mirror on the wall. It is no longer mirror, mirror on the wall. Very, very fascinating. And pulling this up onto the screen, it is no longer Sex in the City, but Sex and the Mixed City. Absolutely fascinating. And then when I woke up this morning and I went to Walmart, I saw this. And now the Quaker dude is not the guy on the left, but the dude on the right. So you have to wonder, is it possible that now everything on this banner, where we don't have a Darkside Rey, or a new Darkside Anakin, or an Eternal Sith, or these other characters, that the reality will change, and when we wake up in the morning, we will see this new reality, like magic mirror on the wall, baby. Wait a minute, looks like I'm getting a call. Let's pick it up and see who it is. Hello? Yes, I accept the charges. From Secret Base? Yeah. No, I'm not interested. I already have Verizon. Thank you. Hello? Howard? How really? Well, it's an honor. It's an honor, Mr. Chan. It's an honor. Yes. No, I love Hot Toys. No, thank you. Thank you for watching 6 Scale Cantina. I try my best to keep things positive. This is awesome. Wow. You're actually talking with the 13th skull. Wow. And you've heard the cry of the community for a Darkside Rey. Really. And all of these figures, including Bail Organa. Oh, okay, sure. I think I can throw Bail on this banner. So listen, when are you going to go ahead and announce these? You've already done. What do you mean you already did? Well, no, You're from Earth 2. Oh, so this is. No, this is a different Howard from that reality. I can get these if I actually go to that reality. Would I be able to actually bring them back? I couldn't. But the 13th skull could. You're going to do at least one of these soon? And give it to the 13th skull to give it to this Howard. You and this Howard don't get along. Oh, well, wait. Howard. Yes, 13th skull. Can you put Howard back on the phone? Of course I've looked better. Hey, Skull! Let's go ahead and jump into this reality. Right now. And welcome everyone to another episode of the Aries Turrington Show right here at 6 Scale Cantina. let's go ahead and dive right into this baby. And when you look at some of these characters featured here on the banner, they do kind of make your mouth water when you talk about the prospects for the Star Wars Darkside line that Hot Toys has teased here for 2024. When you look at Darth Revan or Darth Nihilus or the Turtle Sith Emperor or perhaps any Emperor version, and Darkside Rey and Darkside Anakin, you could go ahead and throw in Asajj Ventress, Savage Opress, Darth Maul, Darth Tyranus, Dooku, and a host of others. And I think if we do get a Darth Maul, it is most likely going to be centered not on the Star Wars Darkside line, but most probably with the 25th anniversary of the Phantom Menace. And let's go ahead and tease, what two characters are dubbed by Star Wars themselves and Disney with the words Darkside in their names? Number one, Darkside Rey, and number two, Darkside Anakin. Hold that thought. What about the prospect of Darth Revan and Darth Nihilus? And when you think about that, baby, it is absolutely very, very, very interesting indeed. It is absolutely mouthwatering to even look at what Hot Toys could do with a figure like this. And when you look at this on your screen, and you also go ahead and look at this character here, Darth Nihilus, on your screen, and really with these, what is this? From Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic, this is the second one, right? And then certainly Revan from the first one. And when you go ahead and look at what Hasbro has done, and what they have done with the Gaming Greats line, and of course up here you got the Jedi Revan, but of course they also put this out as Darth Revan. But this is absolute gold for Hasbro and for the Black Series line. And you have to wonder, with that data, with that knowledge, with the understanding that Star Wars fans would go absolutely nuts for any kind of extra Sith that they could put in their collection, will Hot Toys actually be considering doing what the Black Series did? Would they consider doing what Hasbro has done? Will they actually draw some comparisons to Darth Revan and who am I going to pick on here? Not me to. And Gore. Does Gore from Love and Thunder sell more than Darth Revan?
This is an emergency. Interruption. This is an emergency. Interruption. This is an emergency. Interruption.
This is Captain Crunch, collectors, and I am once again spending all my money to become the greatest collector in this community. So make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe, because what you gonna do?
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when I take all of these dollars and smash it all over? Yeah!
Okay, does Venomized Groot sell more than Darth Nihilus? And when you go and you start comparing and start taking certain things that they're coming out with, and you actually compare it to the mass numbers that Hasbro has been able to move, not only with one Revan, but gosh, I think that there's like a few Revans already. And why is that? Is it possible because they sell? And I say yes. So they could come out with both of these individually, and it would be absolutely, absolutely crazy. But let's look at these two together. They kind of go. It's kind of like two peas in a pod, two doves of a feather, fly together or float together or whatever the thing may be here. And you have to ask yourself, would they actually consider giving their own line of gaming greats in some way and actually put it in something very similar to something like this? And I think it's possible. People were like, when this came out, like, what's going on? I mean, why can you only get Dark Suit Superman with the, second issue of the Nightmare Batman? Why isn't Nightmare Batman by himself? Why isn't Dark Suit Superman by himself? And, they also came out with a 2-pack, for Boba Fett, Boba Fett with the robes, or Boba Fett, with the real worn out armor from The Mandalorian Season 2. And I think it's very, very possible that Hot Toys could go ahead and just put this out and put both of these characters out in a 2-pack. I mean, wow, baby. And that would be some awesome 2-pack. I would be honestly, a Sith 2-pack. My goodness, how good would this sell? Would this sell? Would this have any interest, whether in a 2-pack or whether separately? And I say, come on, baby. You know the answer. You want to sip some of this with me. Look, maybe Nihilus is wearing the 13th skull. Cheers. You're watching the Aries Heritage Show. Just thinking about it. Wow. Just thinking about it. I'm floating in coffee. Wow. And going back and looking at this banner, what else is on here that makes sense? And when we think about dark side characters, what comes to mind? And I will tell you, for me, the first darn thing that came to mind, to be quite frank, was Darkside Rey and Darkside Anakin. But why? Because they have the words Darkside in their names. It's almost like this Star Wars Darkside line was made for these two characters. I mean, it's almost like scary, just like every other one of these characters on the banner is scary. And who knows who's more scary, these characters or the 13th skull? I somehow think that they're all intertwined and connected in one way or another. But when you talk about Darkside Anakin, and you really, really break it down, and pulling this up onto the screen, this was limited to 3,000 pieces worldwide. And when they put up the queue system last year for this artisan, the community went bonkers. The community went berserk. Collectors were just all collaborating, waiting in line, trying to be able to get this figure. And in like 30 somewhat minutes, I don't remember, it was somewhere around 30 minutes, it was completely sold out. That is 3 100,000 copies, limited edition, completely sold out. And the thing you have to keep in mind is this is a limited edition. No matter how many other Anakins, they could come out with 2 other artisan Anakins, and I think that they will. Very, very short, in short time, maybe even this year. Or any other Anakins they come out with. It really doesn't affect this particular Anakin that we see here that is up on the screen. Case in point, when you go ahead and you look at everything that Hot Toys has done with Scarlet Witch and the awesome Scarlet Witch photos from the Multiverse of Madness, baby. That came out this week. That looked very good. You've got so many Scarlet... You had that Scarlet Witch on pre-order, and it didn't matter. Hot Toys not only put out an artisan version of the Scarlet Witch, even while, another WandaVision version of Scarlet Witch was available at Sideshow, but they even put out a sculpted version of the Scarlet Witch. So you have to ask yourself, would they actually do this then with one Anakin that is limited, that's in stock, and actually put up a Darkside Anakin and even more than just a Darkside Anakin up at the same time? And I do think it's possible, and we have to think about that because the trends are showing it right here, right now. And for as popular as Elizabeth Olsen is in The Scarlet Witch, I would say that Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader, is probably equally as popular. And you're seeing how all the Darth Vader figures are selling right now when you sort everything out best-selling wise on Sideshow Collectibles. You're quite frankly seeing, that Darth Vader and Anakin Skywalker and all of these, Star Wars characters are really, really popular right now, for Hot Toys. And I'll go ahead and pull them up and we'll look right at it. And I don't think you have to be limited to just one version of Anakin Skywalker or Darth Vader as Anakin Skywalker. Just like you're not limited to the many versions of Loki or the many versions of Scarlet Witch or the million versions of Spider-Man and Iron Man and Batman that you seemingly have up, right now. And you can see as I pull up everything here, you're seeing everything here that's sorted out best-selling wise. And what did I say? How long it was going to be? And already a month now. Already 4 weeks. You've got Han Solo at number 1. Of course, you've got that awesome Spider-Man from Spider-Man 2 at number 2. There's the young Padawan Ahsoka, but there's Darth Vader, who hit the wait list. And what's right underneath that? The Darth Vader that's not on wait list from the 40th, and the other one that is from the 40th. You could have many versions of Darth Vader up here, and people are going to scoop them all up. Forget about Batman. You got so many versions of Batman. There's the Affleck, the Affleck Batman, one of them anyway. There's the Batman. Forget it. There's so many Batmans. It's insanity. There's Christian Bale Batman. Still an old version of Christian Bale Batman, all the way up there. So you do have to ask yourself, does this artisan Anakin, does this mean that they wouldn't put out at the same time a Darkside Anakin? And absolutely not. Not in my view and from what I'm seeing. And should we expect in 2024 with the Darkside line a Darkside Anakin, an artisan Darkside Anakin? And I say yes. And if you want even further data when it comes, to this figure, I could tell you right now that this version right here with the sculpted hair sells like absolute insanity within the secondary market, and with current trends actually even going back up again between $700 and $800, especially if it's brand new and it's never been removed from the box. I mean, quite honestly, guys and gals, that's 2-pack territory. So when you take that data and put in through how much desire, how much demand there is for Darth Vader without, the uniform, the mask, and the outfit on, and also with how much attention is being given to Darth Vader with these figures that are coming out, and also within, the past couple of series, the Obi-Wan series, and then right here with the Ahsoka series, you can't deny that, that with the last couple of series, all these showings of Hayden Christensen, of Anakin Skywalker, while he's good, while he's bad, does generate even more demand for something that already has been in super demand to begin with. I mean, gosh, they've been coming out with 2.0s of certain Spider-Man figures and Iron Man figures and other DC figures that, quite frankly, don't even sell as high or are in as high of a demand as the Darkside Anakin. So is the Darkside line tailor fit for the Darkside Anakin? And I think that that's the question that you and I have to ask ourselves. It is very, 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 very interesting. And when we go ahead and we move to the other Darkside character, and we'll bring up the Black Series. And look, even when, gosh, and it's not even, it's not just Hasbro in the Black Series line. It's also Gentle Giant. It's also FX with their lightsaber. They got specific Darkside Rey. Darkside Rey is a very niche character. It's a female Sith that a lot of collectors really want in their collection. How niche is Darkside Rey? How desired is Darkside Rey? How amazing is Darkside Rey? You could kind of put it in a category with, even these ones that I put up earlier. They're very, very niche for some collectors, and some may say they might want these more or less regardless. Whether it's Darth Nihilus or Darkside Rey, or whether it is Darth Revan or Darth Talon, you're going to be able to sell 1,500 of these if it was an exclusive at a limited run. You're going to be able to sell 2,500 Darkside Reys if it's a limited edition or a limited run. You're going to have absolutely no problem taking a female Sith like Rey and absolutely getting her out. And the fact that Disney has rehired and reconfirmed Daisy Ridley back into the Star Wars fold, is Star Wars brass when dealing with the licenses and with Hot Toys. Are they going to be in line with going ahead and promoting Daisy Ridley, which I'm sure that they would like to get even more, promotion right now? And going even further, you have to ask yourself if Disney would even ask, hey, why don't you go ahead and put out a limited run of Daisy Ridley and the Darkside Rey? So this makes complete sense. Again, what have I been saying for so long? More and more announcements, but less production of those announcements. And there is absolutely hardly nothing coming out on television or in the movie theater in 2024 that is comparable in quantity to what came out in 2023. So when you talk about legacy characters, and you talk about old characters, and you talk about niche characters like a Darkside Rey, this makes sense Because easily, like they were trying to do last year, you could sell 1,500 of these. You could sell 3,000 of these. You could sell 2,000 of this. You could sell 3,000 of that. And again, you have to actually take into effect some other figures that Hot Toys has placed out and actually compare. How would this compare to this? How would this compare to that? And when you additionally do that, the trends, my friends, make absolute sense. Pause. You're watching the 13th Skull Show. Oh, excuse me, the Aries Tarrington Show. Cheers, baby. What do we cover here? Dark Side line with Dark Side characters. The Dark Side line with Darth Revan and Darth Nihilus. Who else is adorned, is pictured in this photo as an absolute bad guy? And I tell you what, the other thing, as we talk about not only this character, which is a niche character, from the rise of Skywalker, you do have to wonder, what about the viability of an eternal Sith, the eternal Emperor, also from the Revenge of the Sith? And the Revenge of the Sith one I pulled up because I really think this could be coming out next year. What's next year? The 25th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. So, what would make sense prior? Because I absolutely believe we're going to get this next year. What do we get this year? And when you look at this, can you even imagine how Hot Toys could nail this character right here? Wow. You look at that face, you look at those eyes, you look at that robe. Oh God, that would be again, I always ask this, who would win in a fight, this eternal Sith or Pennywise? Oh, this would go good in so many collections. And look, when you talk about, I've got to absolutely toss out the notion of, the controversy. The controversy's over. And this is not The Last Jedi either. This is The Rise of Skywalker. And this did make over $1 billion. And look at all the characters that they're coming out with, from The Flash and some other TV shows and movies that were just not good. And box office disasters in some views, and TV shows that didn't do well. And you got a movie that made over $1 billion. And if you put out Ian McDiarmid in any form, whether it's here, or whether it's from the Clone Wars, or whether it's from some comic book, or whether it's Venomized Ian McDiarmid Emperor, the Emperor is going to sell, baby. And collectors that just want a dark look and just want, ooh, yeah, baby, I whatever. This could be in the holiday special. I want this figure. There's not a doubt that this figure sells like madness. And again, not to pick on Gore from Love and Thunder, okay? Not to pick on Peacemaker, not to pick on some of these other, characters that are like, not to pick on the Grand Inquisitor. When you look at the Emperor and you look at this, it sells. It sells, and it sells, and it sells. If you're trying to move 10,000, baby. If you're trying to go back to the times before, where we have so much stock of the Landos, and so much stock of the Iron Mans, and so much stock of the black suit Superman, Spider-Mans, and so much stock of this, and so much stock of that, and so much stock of Captain Marvel, and so much stock of the Tusken. Of course, you make 20,000 because that's set forever. I don't care how bad. There's only so much juice, baby, that you can squeeze out of the wizard juice. You make 1,500. You make 2,500. You make 3,000. My goodness, it just goes gone with the wind. And I tell you what here, man. This looks absolutely delicious. Delicious and good. Remember, it made over $1 billion. You got the main villain in a movie right here they have not put out yet. And you've got a niche character in Darkside Rey. And, you know, when you go ahead and you look at what's on this banner for the dark side, does every single one of these make sense? And I say, yes. Does it make sense if you have to sell 10, 15, 20,000 of each? Maybe no. If you're looking to sell 1,000 or 300 to, few thousand, the answer simply is yes. What about Savage Opress? What about Asajj Ventress? What about Darth Talon? What about Darth Malgus? Again, already spoke about Darth Maul. They could, but I think you're going to get Darth Maul again from the Phantom Menace. And of course, what about Darth Vader? Well, you already got Darth Vader on here. They call Darkside Anakin, but it's Darth Vader. Of course, Darth Vader. As a matter of fact, I know that they're going to come out with more Darth Vaders. It's just a question of how many more Darth Vaders could they be coming out with. My goodness. My goodness gracious. It is absolutely insane. So listen, if you like what you watched here, baby, think about joining my channel with a channel membership. It comes with all kinds of juicy content that I take a lot of time to put out with my expanded thoughts and heightened analysis. All you got to do is join me, an Ancient Action Figure Theorist, and join my hunt for the 13th Skull, and join the channel. It's cheaper than a dozen eggs. In most places in this universe, in many alternate universes, and even on Earth 2 and Earth 66. I've been there and I can tell you. And the same thing with gas. It's cheaper than gas. It's cheaper than half and half. It is a little bit more expensive than wizard juice in this current realm. But, hey, you can't have everything. But listen, baby. Go ahead, click on the little join button. See everything that it comes with. And if you want to go ahead and support and join the Ancient Action Figure Theorist Society and join me in the hunt for the 13th Skull, come up and join up, baby. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up in the month of March, just like Hot Toys has a couple of doozies prepared in March and April before May 4th this year, which we're going to be getting into in real big, delicious, juicy way. I don't always drink coffee and spill it and then top it off with wizard juice, but when I do, I do it right here at the 6 Scale Cantina. Stay thirsty, my friends.
Bye.